Well, hello everyone. I got a note from my social secretary this morning, said I had a package waiting for me on the bench inside the warehouse here. So let's go on into the lab and see what's going on with that. And indeed, there is a box on the bench here. So let's open it up and see what's going on here. I'm pretty sure I know what's going on with this. I got a note from a nice lady about a week ago from the Tesmen Direct Corporation, who they make test equipment, and she saw my YouTube channel and asked me if I wouldn't mind doing a review of a couple of their products they just introduced. And so I'm pretty sure that's what this is. So let's just open this up and see. And I told her I would probably do that for her. And indeed, it is from Tesmen Direct. And full disclosure, I'm not getting paid to do this. I do get to keep the product. So I'm going to give my honest opinion of both of these. Looks like we've got a non-contact voltage detector here and a Tesmen Smart Digital Multimeter, a TN-213. So I think we'll go ahead and start with the non-contact tester here. Now, the Tesmen company, they only sell products through Amazon. I think that's their only outlet. So if you want any of these, you probably have to go through them to get it. Now, looks like we've got a nice box here. Notice that on the product right away that comes in 3 different colors. They sent me the green one. And so I guess if you want one, you can, in red or blue, you can go ahead and do that. So let's just unbox this. It's got a nice cardboard box to it. It's not a blister pack like some things are. And we'll just open this up, see what we have here. And right away, oh, that's a nice surprise. Looks like we've got some name brand batteries to put in it. And which is a nice thing to have, since a lot of times you get these things and they got these cheap batteries with writing on it that only a Martian can figure out what it is. But at least they splurged a little bit and went with a name brand battery for it. And we'll talk about that a little later. I'm not real keen on alkaline batteries at all, but and I'll tell you why a little later. But that's a nice touch. And looks like we have the directions in several different languages. And I think I'll go ahead and read those off camera here and get familiar with the product so I know what I'm talking about. A little shipping bag here. And a nice looking product here. I guess this is probably where you put the batteries, so yeah. Yeah, let me go ahead and read directions. I'll be right back. Okay, I've finished reading the user manual here, and first thing I noticed right off was that it does have a 3-year warranty, which is a nice surprise. Most products you buy anymore, you're lucky to get a 1-year warranty. Most of them are 90 days, but this is a full 3-year warranty, and if anything goes wrong with the unit, you can return it. They will repair it for you, and yeah, that's a nice plus. So the instructions are quite simple. I won't bother to read them to you. I'll just demonstrate them for you because they're very easy. One thing I did notice for you guys at Tesmen, I'm sorry, that your QR codes on the back here for the product don't link to the right area on your website. These QR codes actually link to this product right here. So you might want to change that and reprint these in the future. But anyway, the directions are quite simple. We'll go ahead and get started. I'll show you how this thing functions and operates. First of all, here's your probe tip right here. And that's the part you, of course, do your testing with. Also on the front is another plus for this device is it has a built-in flashlight. And that is a really handy feature to have if you're working around in dark places trying to track down some errant wiring problems or something. You want as much light as possible. So you can turn that on quite easily. And I'll show you how to do that. But first, let's go ahead and put some batteries in this. And while we're on the topic of batteries, it's again nice to see that they're using a name brand battery, but I am not a big fan of alkaline batteries, especially Duracells. These are the most counterfeited batteries in the world right now, and so the chance of you getting a counterfeit Duracell is quite high, and honestly, they will leak. All alkaline batteries will eventually leak, and I don't really care for them in that way. So what I do is I either use rechargeable nickel metal hydride or like this one, or a Energizer lithium battery, non-rechargeable. Now, I did a little experimenting with this, and I wanted to show you that if you're planning on using a rechargeable battery in here, don't, because it doesn't work. Just to be quite honest with you, I put some in here, and if you hit the button, nothing's going to happen. You won't get any response whatsoever. And so you can't use a rechargeable battery in here. Rechargeables are just slightly lower in terminal voltages. I think they're about 1.35 volts per cell, whereas a alkaline is 1.5. So that'll give you an idea of how long the batteries may last in this, since it won't take much to drop that battery voltage down to 1.3 volts if you use it a lot. So I would suggest that you put in these lithium batteries if you value your equipment, because these have double the shelf life of the alkaline, and they don't leak, and they have a little higher terminal voltage than the alkalines, which doesn't, from my testing, doesn't seem to bother the readings on here at all, but it does improve the flashlight on this. If you turn the flashlight on, it is much brighter now, and I'll do a side-by-side comparison now that you can see the difference in brightness. And so that's a little plus for the lithium batteries. So I'll go ahead and turn that off. And just for our test purposes, I'm going to put in the batteries they sent with the unit, just so we get everything accurate here. And this is also a nice plus for this device. It has an O-ring on here, which is part of the what they call the IP66 rating, which is, I think the I on that is for ingress. Keeps the, in other words, it keeps the dust out. That is the ingress part of it. And the 6 is the rating, which is basically dust. And the other 6 is for water ingress. It's, I wouldn't say it's waterproof, but it's certainly water resistant. And so that's a good thing now, especially if you're working around high voltage electricity. You don't want any contaminants inside the unit, which is, I'm sure that's why they built it that way. So let's go ahead and turn it on, and we'll do a little testing here. And you just hold the button down for until the light beeps, and the display comes on, and it'll default to the 12 to 1000 volt scale, as you can see right here. Now, if you want to change that scale to something a little higher, just press the scale button here one time, and that'll change it to 70 to 1000 volt. As I said, it defaults to the 12 volt. That's the most sensitive, and I've got a little test receptacle here that I'll show you. If you get in that position, if you get anywhere near it, you'll start getting a reading, which in some cases may be a little too sensitive, but it's better to be safe than sorry. And if you want to test a receptacle, if you put it in there, you'll notice that nothing happened. And that's the reason why nothing's happening, is because this is the neutral part of the receptacle. If we go over to the line part, we will start getting a reading. And this is a very good way to test whether your receptacles are wired properly, or if they're reverse wired, or if they don't have a ground. If you poke that in your ground area here and you get a reading, there is something wrong. You're not getting a good ground. So you put it in there, and that'll tell you immediately the neutral part of that. And also, one thing I've noticed is if you take this and slide it along the outside, you'll get places where you'll get reading, and you'll get places where you won't. And you'll see that alternate go on and on. So we have nulls in here. And then the reason why we do is because inside these round cords, the wire is twisted. And so what you're reading is the line, the neutral, line, and neutral. And that's kind of an interesting thing I found out. Now, you may run into a place where you have just a flat cord like this one. And this one's clearly marked with the white as being neutral. And you put the tester on there. Let me change the range here a little bit so it's not quite so sensitive. And if you put that on there like so and run it across there, you won't get any reading. But if you go to the other side, you immediately can tell that that is the line side, the hot side of the wire, and this side is not. So it's a very good way to test things like that. Now, since this will supposedly be sensitive enough to detect 12 volt signals, I've got a power supply set up here, and we'll just go ahead and turn that on. And it's has a 12 and 24 volt line on it, and so this right now it's on 12 volts. So, and one thing I did notice is once in a while you'll get a reading here for no reason, apparently no reason. There it is, and it's only about 2%, so it's picking up some stray electrical field here on my test bench, which is not unusual. I've got a ton of equipment up here, as you can see, that will give you a little bit of a false reading, but the graph is nice on here because you can tell if it's very weak or if it has any kind of strength to it. Okay, this is one side of that 12 volt AC. Here's the other side, and it's at 26% on the indicator. And it will detect through the insulation. And of course this side is grounded to my power supply there, so there's not going to get any reading. Okay, so let's just clip that on there and see. It says 29%. Now I'm going to move this to the 24 volt position, and you'll see that it goes to 32% of full scale. And on the other side, it's reading 23%. So it does detect low voltage. So this would be good for testing out low voltage circuits for, say, a walkway light outside, where they're only running 12 to 24 volts, low voltage to your walkway sidewalk lights or something. You could use that to test those with. So anyway, that's I'm impressed, not disappointed at all in this. I think one thing, let's just go on over to a regular receptacle and see how it acts. Okay, here's one of my shop receptacles, and I'm going to leave this on the low voltage scale, and you can see that it's already detecting that this is hot, and it turns, of course the display turns red and it starts beeping at you. I'm going to lower the sensitivity on it a little bit so we can actually get over here close to the receptacle, and we're going to go into the line connection and then the neutral. So that tells us that this receptacle is wired correctly, and the ground is also wired correctly. I wonder what will happen if I change the range on that and stick that in the ground. And it still shows like 10%, so you probably want to keep that on 70 to the 1 kilovolt range if you're just testing polarity here and whether you have a good ground or not. So yeah, looks good. So all in all, I'm quite impressed with this, and I'm especially impressed with the price of it. You're not going to believe the price. I don't know how they could make these and ship them over here and give you a high quality battery for that price. Is amazing, and produce a good solid product. It's feels very good in your hand, like it's not a cheap piece of plastic, and like I say, has a really nice flashlight on it. It also has a auto shut off, and I tested that. It does work. After 5 minutes of inactivity, it will turn itself off and save the battery. Turn the unit off, you just momentarily press the power button, and the button has a nice feel to it. These are rubberized buttons, so I think they'll last quite a while. The unit also has a low battery indicator. It's on this side right here, and of course it's not showing up now because we have a fresh set of batteries, but it will give you a low battery indicator. So there's not a whole lot of cons to this. There's only one, and it's probably because of my own hearing, is that the beeper in it is not real loud. I don't know how that's showing up on camera, but it's not a real loud beeper, and of course, I can't tell real well because I'm 70% deaf. So if I think if you're in a noisy environment, you probably won't hear it, but at least you can see this bright red indicator at the top will get your attention if you're in a noisy environment. But that's really the only con I can see about this. It's looks like a very good piece of equipment. Well, that about does it for my review of this. Stay tuned. I'm going to produce another video right after this reviewing the Tesmen TN-213 multimeter. And so stay tuned for that. I'll put a card link up in the upper right-hand corner here of the screen, and you can check that out when I get it finished. So thanks for watching, everybody. Catch you in the next video, which will feature a review of the Tesmen TN-213 multimeter.